Hello, hello. Tim Bartz here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, and I am back with you at the dealership here. Last week was a little different situation, and appreciate you guys holding as I was getting through some sickness. I did come down with COVID. Like 2 Saturdays ago, and so this is actually day 10 of it, so this is the last day going through any kind of quarantine and such. So but I did make it through it and everything, so thank you everybody with your concerns for my health and everything. But I want to thank you guys for being in here with me this week. We'll have a lot of fun today, so just kind of give you some of the lowdowns at the beginning as I always go through. Don't forget that I'm going to just welcome everybody in. We do have a topic for today. We'll do that about 30 minutes into the episode, how to get your 2022 order pushed to 23, why you might want to do that, and what can you do to your order to make sure it gets pushed to 23 if you want to hold out since it hasn't been scheduled yet. So we'll talk about that here in about 30 minutes here. Also, too, don't forget to, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Do appreciate that. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And what that does is it notifies you on your mobile phone that we have a video that's going to be going live, that has gone live, or if we're doing a live stream, you'll get notified of that as well. And don't forget too, if you're subscribed to the channel, you enjoy watching some of the videos we do have membership available. You just down there, just click a join button on any of the videos that you see. So if you just right down below that, all those little share buttons, hit that join button down there, and gives you more information about what we do as members and such. And so I think you'll really enjoy being a member. We do some exclusive videos, also give out different items that we give out as being a part of the membership here to the members after certain plateaus of membership and such. I know some of you have just gotten your tumblers recently, so we give out some fun gifts, and just my way of being connected closer to those people that really enjoy our content and want to hear more about myself and some of the things. We do some videos on Saturday. We walk the lot and kind of get a little insight of maybe what I'm going to talk about this next week on our live stream and such, and I kind of bounce it off of the members too. So it's a great way to connect with those. So that's why I go ahead and give out gifts, because I don't want it to be something where it's actually a monetized thing. It's not to make money. It's for me to stay connected closer to you guys. And, so of course, send out that gift to be able to do that and say thank you to you guys. Also, don't forget, we are recording this as a podcast as well. So we're going to take this audio version of this and put it out on different podcasting apps. And I actually have kind of a rundown of some of the apps that we are on right now. So you have Amazon's there. I think that next one is Google. You have FM or Player FM as well. iHeartMedia there in the middle. Samsung, as well as Spotify that we're on right now. There's 4 others that I put out as well today that hopefully will get filled in there by this next week. But also Podbean is where we put it on. So, but of course, if you don't not connected on any of those, but just want to listen to it, you can go to our website. Actually, there we go. Go to our website. Oh, I got that on the wrong one. But you can go to our website, McArthur.com/fordvideoguy, and you can actually check it out that way. So not sure why my button's not working on my stream deck here. But there's just some of that things to get out of the way. Don't forget, we are also, if you have any questions, the email addresses are down there. Go ahead. If you're watching this recorded, which a lot of people do, you watch it after we go live and you didn't get a chance to put your question in there, email those over to fordvideoguy@gmail.com. I was a little behind. Sorry about that. When I was not feeling good for a couple days, I wasn't really answering any emails. I'm behind on phone calls as well, people that have called me. And if you've called me and you ask a question, I haven't had a chance, calling people back is about the last thing I do, because an email doesn't take me that long to respond to. But a phone call, sometimes I get excited. I like talking about the Maverick and these different vehicles, and it's really my fault, but I end up being on the phone for you for like 30 minutes. And so it's hard for me to get as many questions answered if you call me than if you just send me an email there. So go ahead and do that. So also don't forget, yesterday we had the 22 Ford Ranger Black Widow video. Actually, that video was recorded the day that I started getting symptoms from COVID, which is kind of funny. So that video is linked down in the description if you want to check that out, as well as we'll have links to a lot of other things today, including Thursday we'll be on Facebook Live as well, so you can check it over there. We'll be over there on Facebook answering questions for about an hour over on Facebook this Thursday at 6 p.m. And speaking of other events, because that's as a Facebook event every Thursday. We are going to be doing an event in August. So you need to mark your calendars for August 13th for Salina, Kansas. So if you have a Maverick or you're interested in Maverick, we're going to do a Maverick event. We're hoping to have this a yearly event every August, kind of a reunion for everybody to come back. And we're kind of known around here as being a Maverick City. We have a lot of Mavericks driving around town. So we're going to have a August 13th. Not sure on the exact location yet, whether or not we're going to have it at the dealership here or if we're going to have it off-site. But either way, August 13th is right before the opening to the order banks. 2 days before that. So we're going to have some fun. Probably we'll give more details on what we're going to do during that. But of course, we'll have people drive up their Mavericks if they want to. Check it out. Love to see the different customizations everybody's done to their Mavericks. So drive your Maverick in. I love meeting as many people as we can as well here, and it's just McArthur's way of saying, come on in, let's have fun, let's celebrate and talk Mavericks, kind of like they've been doing with the different Bronco celebrations and different events like that. We're going to do that here this August. So mark your calendars down. If you take some vacation days, we're going to do it on Saturday. That gives you a Sunday to be able to drive back. So hopefully we'll have some fun and we'll have a lot of people attending that, but definitely mark your calendars for that. Also, this last week, there was actually a customer came in before that I had came down with COVID that came in and delivered his vehicle, and he is actually in the military, retired military, I should say, and he came and picked up his vehicle, and Lonnie was a salesperson there, and he got a first edition from us, and nice family there, so a husband and wife. The wife actually has a Bronco on order with us right now. She's actually holding out for some things for 23, so she's putting hers on and party 99 for that reason, but so real nice people, but I want to give a picture and show you a picture of them. And also, I was able, last Monday, I wasn't able to meet Mike. He is a member, and there's a picture of some of the things that he left me on my desk. So he's a big Tennessee fan. He's from Tennessee, and actually, I like Tennessee. Tennessee is, one of my favorite football players was Reggie White, Minister of Defense, and he went to the University of Tennessee. So I do have the helmet on my desk here, and I'll definitely use that koozie and such. So thank you very much for coming by and sending me and giving me that. Plus, I've gotten some gifts from other people too, so I do appreciate that. And I was not able to be here for the signing for Mitch Lightfoot. He was here at the dealership, but I do have some signed autographs for a couple of people that wanted those, that were members, just to kind of let you guys know. Those will get in the mail here pretty soon, probably tomorrow, and we'll get those in the mail to you. So, all right, let's get into some scheduling information. So this week, what is scheduling? So the Bronco is scheduling. They said a limited scheduling this week. So that's probably the people that I think in May they gave us allocations, and it was supposed to be for May and June, or I'm sorry, last April. So April and May's allocations were to be used for, and so half of them were used in April. The other half are going to be used this week. Escape will have limited scheduling this week. Expedition, retail only scheduling. Explorer is also retail only. And retail means that they're customer ones, in case you haven't been on the live streams for a while. F-150 will be scheduling this week. Mustang Mach-E will schedule this week. It's a cleanup week, so they're just to kind of fill some open slots there. Transit Connect van and wagon will be scheduling. Aviator, retail only. And just so you know, on the Lincoln lineups, Corsair always matches up with Escape. Aviator with the Edge usually, or the Explorer, and then Navigator always will match up with the Expedition. They're all made in the same plant. So the Navigator will have limited scheduling or retail only scheduling as well, and then Aviator will be retail only, and then Corsair will be limited, just like with Escape. So just so you know for future reference. What is not scheduling that I have not mentioned? Bronco Sport is not scheduling this week. Maverick is not scheduling. Again, both of those are made at the same plant. Edge is not scheduling this week. Mustang, Coupe is not, in convertibles, of course. Ranger is not scheduling this week, which originally it was planned that they were going to be scheduling, but we did get notification that they weren't scheduling this week. Super Duty is not scheduling. Transit van is not scheduling, and Nautilus is not scheduling. So again, Nautilus and Edge always will schedule together and such. Now, I want to talk to you about the order banks that are opening up. So I've been seeing a lot of different forums where people are posting out what is going on different those different groups. Now, so I did find something because there's been some screenshots of some sections, and I'm like, where are they finding this information? Because I don't know where it's located on FMC Dealer. But I did, my manager, or the zone manager, was able to redirect me to a place for fleet business, which actually shows for all the others as well. So Bronco Sport order banks should open up August 1st, the Edge July 18th, Expedition June 15th, which is just coming up around the corner. F-150 is going to be July 18th. Maverick, we know, is August 15th. They moved it up a day. Mach-E is also the 15th of August. Nautilus is July 18th. Navigator is June 15th. And Ranger is July 18th. So it's just around the corner for Ranger as well, not too far. And then E-Transit is going to be May 31st, it says. And then the Transit Connect van and wagon is August 15th. And then more dates will be filled in. Some people posted some stuff for the Bronco, but I don't have any confirmation of those dates yet. Those were not listed on here, so that could be coming real soon. Now let's talk about the Is It True for this week, and we'll get into some other bulletins that were given out to dealers within the last week. So is it true? I found something out there on the internet where it said Mavericks are getting shipped without microchips. They said their friend had heated seats that weren't working. And the dealer said that it needed microchips. So I have confirmed this with the brand manager, and Mavericks are scheduling with all of their chips. They will hold them up and they will ship them with the chips. They are not being delivered to dealerships without the microchips. Probably in the situation where the heated seats weren't working on this one customer's vehicle, it was probably something else. It was probably not a microchip issue. It probably was just an electrical issue that needed to be dealt with by the dealer, and instead of dealing with it and looking into it and actually checking it out, they just assumed it was a microchip issue since that was in the news and out there. That is not true. As far as we can tell, they aren't delivering any vehicles without the chips right now. There are some that are missing chips, like we've actually talked about in many of our past videos and live streams, like the Expedition and Explorer, where they're missing the controls on the back because they need chips. So technically those vehicles are being delivered without chips in that case. But they'll be you'll know really easily whether or not doesn't have it. Those vehicles without heated seats, in that kind of situation, like on the Explorer and the Expedition, we're seeing those being delivered, but vehicles are not being delivered without the chips. Let's talk about some dealer bulletins that came out this week, and then we'll get into some other things there. So actually got to the Is It True really quick there, but so I need to change the timestamp on my video. But I try to put those timestamps if you're watching this video. You can check the timestamps if you want to move around and you don't want to kick through the intro or whatever, all the different things I talked about at the beginning. You can kick right into the Is It True and some other information by checking out those timestamps. But so this week we had some bulletins. One thing that came out today was that 0% for 60 months is available on the Edge and Explorers until the end of the month. And that would be on any stock purchases or any orders. Keep that in mind because you can lock in those incentives. So if you want to order a 22 Edge or Explorer, which both are still able to order, you can do that by the end of the month and get 0% locked in for 60 months and price protected as well. So think about that. If you're wanting an Edge Explorer, maybe now's the time to go ahead and go ahead and do that. Also this week, the Ranger now has a bulletin there about the optional Lariat halogen headlight and fog light. So the optional Lariat halogen headlight and fog light are now required on all Lariat orders and will include a credit on the window sticker. So it says you get a $500 credit, and that's option code 87G. So if you have a Ranger Lariat, you want to make sure you have that option added to it. They do tell you that if you that option will be added to all orders by Ford, but I found that hasn't always worked. They told us that on Bronco with a protective film that all the Broncos will be changed and that will be taken off their orders. But I've seen some orders just this week actually where that was still on an order on one of our orders. So you definitely want to make sure that is something that you want to make sure that your vehicle won't schedule unless you have that added to your vehicle. So they are taking away or giving you the optional halogen headlights there and fog lights. So keep that in mind. Some other changes and some things that are going on. Super Duty multi-contoured seats with the active motion is getting hit just like the other multi-contour seats on the F-150 and such. Now we're getting it on orders from after May 25th. So basically how that reads, I'll just read this here. It says dealers should add option code 91X multi-contoured seat with active motion removal where applicable on scheduled and unscheduled retail and fleet orders by May 25th. Orders that are not updated by May 25th will be amended by Ford. Again, like we say, they don't always amend those. What will happen actually is your vehicle will not get scheduled. It'll just sit in there. So if you do have the multi-contoured seats on your vehicle, you'll want to definitely make sure that you go ahead and take care of that. So, all right. Moving on, the Explorer multi-contoured seat availability. So they did update and make an amendment to the bulletin that they previously had. I'm not sure when that one came out, but they said that you need to make sure that the this previously announced product offering change will now also include all retail order types in addition to stock and fleet orders. So originally it was just they were taking the multi-contoured seat off of the stock orders. Now they're saying all retail ones as well. So on the Explorer, if you do have the multi-contoured seats, it says the units are the ST line, or not the ST line, the ST 401A Equipment Group, King Ranch, and Platinum, including the premium technology package with multi-contoured seat, will be amended by Ford to the premium technology package less the multi-contoured seat. That's 65J. So you want to make sure you change your order there or it won't get scheduled. And the date on this one is the Thursday, the 26th, which is coming up. So, all right. Next one talk about is on the F-150. Right, this is on F-150. Yeah, F-150. The connected navigation and Sirius XM with 360L are no longer available on 100A to 501A, where optional or included. So the connected nav and Sirius XM with 360 removal is now required where applicable on these trims and will include a credit on the window sticker. Connected built-in nav is no longer available where optional on the 100 and 501A trims. So yeah, that's option 50X. You're going to have to add to your vehicle. So add that to the F-150 list of things that you have to be looking at. So that looks like they're going to take that off of a lot of vehicles. So, wow. So yeah, that's happening, which they talked about that on the Bronco at one point as a rumor. And I actually found out on the Bronco, if you get a stock Bronco, which we're not really seeing any of those. But if you did have a stock Bronco, if you didn't have any Bronco orders, you could probably get a stock Bronco. They're doing the same thing on the stock ones. They're going to take away the connected nav on the Broncos. Also, just to kind of let you know, if you've had an older vehicle that had the 3G Wi-Fi hotspots, they're basically shutting down the 3G network. So if you had a vehicle that has the AT&T 3G cellular network, you will not be able to use the on the Ford Pass app. You won't be able to unlock, lock, remote start, vehicle status. You won't see the fuel level for those vehicles that have the 3G network. So if you're wondering if your vehicle is affected, it is the 2013 to 2020 Ford Fusion plug-in hybrids, the 2014 to 2017 C-Max Energies, the 2016 to 2018 Focus BEV vehicles, which I think there are only 5 in the country, because they actually didn't end up producing that completely. 2015 to 2017 MKZ and MKZ Hybrid, 2015 to 2017 MKC, and then the 2017 Continental and the 2016 to 2017 MKX. So those are the vehicles that are affected. If you have the 4G hotspots, you're not affected. It's only the 3G that they pretty much stopped. So AT&T is not doing that 3G anymore. They're going to 4G. So those are, kind of taken care of in that way. So anyway, also the last thing I want to talk about the dealers were told about this week is that the order name match is going to increase from 70% to 75% in June, and then 80% on the 23 model year orders. What does that mean? So that means what they're doing is not only are they making the percentages higher, which means if you order a vehicle, it has to be delivered to you, for one, and you have to take it instead of people canceling their orders or not taking their vehicles. And we've had, you guys know, we've had a lot of different Mavericks that have come in where customers have not taken their orders. And right now, all you have to do to kind of match those up is you do have exceptions that come along with that. So if the customer decided not to take it, they could send us an email and let us know, hey, this is why I didn't take my Maverick. We submit that to Ford, and Ford, gives us an exception as long as it came from the same email address that from the person that ordered the vehicle. Then we got an exception. We're like at 100% on all of our models. Well, here's what's going to change now coming up for 23 is that there's going to be less exceptions that you can use. Basically 3 exceptions. If the person has died since they ordered it, which on some of these vehicles, I'm not surprised, right? Just kidding, Ford, if you're watching. The other is if it is sold within the household. So let's say I ordered the vehicle under my name with my address, and then my wife buys it instead of me. Then that's an exception that is acceptable. And the other is if they can't get approved, and I'm not sure how Ford's going to go about us for dealers, to prove that or not, but that is another one that is going to be looked at as well. So that's something to keep in mind too for dealers going forward. So you want to make sure they're ordered. So for us, we're already talking about making discussions. What do we need to talk about to our customers to let them know that, hey, we need to know you're serious, because if you don't, that can really hurt us getting allocations in the future. So there's some strikes. I won't go through all that for dealers, that if they will lose allocations, they could possibly not even be able to order a customer vehicle, although we'll be able to order stock vehicles. And right now, that means you won't get any inventory. So anyway, so that's something that's going on right now. We'll get more into that probably this summer when we see that. But also talking a little bit about what's going on in the Ford in the news. So we'll get into that. So we have several different things going on. We have, I have links in the description for a lot of articles and a link to this podcast. So Drive with Jim Farley. So Jim Farley has a podcast. Hasn't had his first episode yet, but it's only going to be on Spotify. So the link is down in the description if you want to check that out and follow it. But he is doing a drive. He interviews different people and talk to them about their vehicles that they drive, why they chose their vehicles, different things like that. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun little thing. They said it's not going to be about Ford. It is going to be about driving vehicles. So if you didn't know, Jim Farley, not only is he Ford CEO, but also he is a race car driver. So he loves racing and he loves driving vehicles. So this is a passion of his. So it's his own podcast. It is not in conjunction with Ford on any means. So he's actually said that. So it ought to be fun. I did go ahead and follow that, and hopefully I somehow get notifications. I don't do Spotify much, but anyway, hopefully I get some notifications with that as well. So I got a couple of questions here. I might pop in and answer these. By the way, you want to make sure after here in about 8 minutes, we'll talk more about the subject for this week, or the topic for this week, but then I will be answering questions. So you want to make sure you tag @McArthur, all one word, so that I can see it nice and orange right there. So Zach said, with the number of options being removed, does it make you wonder if the 23 model year may have a few reduced options as the stop and go and such? Probably. We'll probably notice that. So hopefully at the launch of a lot of these 23s, they're going to know they're having issues with certain things. And so hopefully at the launch of them, they'll just say, hey, you know what, for this model year, we're not going to do this. So hopefully they do, or at least put that option in there at the beginning so that can be put on there so that we can actually easily make that change there. So given the 1,200 one-way trip to Kansas and the fact that I had never heard of McArthur. So, okay. So he is just tagging me for that. So, all right. So a couple other things that are in the news. Maverick was in the news this week. They said that Maverick is the second most watched electrified vehicle based on KBB. So on KBB, you can put in there different vehicles you want to see information on, and the Maverick is number 2 to the Tesla. He beat out the Tesla Y. Tesla Y was 3. Tesla 3 was 4. The CRV was 5, and it was second to only the RAV4, which was 1, and it's because it's also a plug-in hybrid too. So, being a hybrid vehicle, the Maverick is hybrid. A lot of people looking at it as that version and wanting the hybrids, then this is a great way. A lot of people looking at that, as the Maverick as a great hybrid vehicle, electrified vehicle for them to be able to drive every day. So, All right, so yep, Johnny's in the stream. Actually, Johnny, I didn't comment on your video tonight, but I did watch your video while I was getting ready. I was actually still jotting down notes on some things that I want to talk about, but that's why I didn't comment. But I did watch your video on your Bronco. Sad to hear that you're selling your Bronco, but if I had two Broncos, I probably would be thinking the same thing. So, but anyway, so both those Broncos look pretty nice, and I could definitely understand Broncos are bringing some good money right now. Good time to sell those. But if you haven't checked out Johnny's channel, Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, I'm gonna start linking that in the video in the description for you guys, because that's a great channel to watch. You get a lot of great information from him, and he does videos a lot more often than I do. So I think you'll like a lot of his content there. So definitely check it out. How's the newest addition to the family? Very good. I actually didn't talk about this, but I've had a couple great news going on this week. Or within the last week. Of course, on Thursday, my oldest daughter, Sarah, who's my assistant and moderator, along with Ridgeview there for the channel here, and does a lot of the editing of the videos. She had our third baby boy, so third grandson for us, and so he is healthy, 8 pounds 8.5 ounces, I believe, and he's doing great. His name is Theodore, should say. We'll probably call him Theodore or Teddy, and she's doing great. So she's on maternity leave right now, and both baby and mom are doing great. I haven't had a chance to hold the baby yet because I've been sick, but hopefully real soon I'll get a chance to do that. But he just looks just like his brother. Looks just like his brother, so the cute as can be. So yes, very happy. And also recently my second daughter got engaged. So a great guy that's in the military here close to the base here, Fort Riley. He is they're going to get married here coming up. Don't have a date yet, but they are engaged, so happy for her as well. So some good things are happening here. So let's continue a couple things, and then we'll get into the topic. Something else that was out there on Ford Authority, there's a link in the description for this article, is for the doors. So there are some the tube doors are now available, and you can order them. So here's kind of a picture of that. So if you kind of want that open door, take the doors off, but you don't want to, bounce or think you're going to bounce out, so that you can get the tube doors. Those are available in either the two-door version, which is $1,250, so $1,250, or you can get the four-door version. There you go. Which is what, of course, I'd get if it's four-door, because I have a four-door. It's $2,250 for the tube doors for that one. So not something I think I'd see. If I want to take the doors off, I probably will just have them completely off myself. But there you go. There's the tube doors are now available, and you should be able to get those. Most of your aftermarket, your Ford accessories, I believe it's available. It's supposed to be available to put on your 22 Broncos as well, but they are now available, they said. Also, they did release, talking about Bronco, the information on the actual final numbers for the Bronco Raptor. Their goal and they wanted to achieve was 400 horsepower, and they surpassed that. It's going to have 418 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. Wow, that is a lot. For a Bronco and something that size, that is a lot of power, folks. That's moving it. And so it's really hit the marks that they were hoping to hit, and even surpassed it from there. So, but yes. So very, very good there. So we do have a little bit of time, about 2 minutes and 45 seconds before we get into the topic. Any questions that you have, throw those down there. I know there's about a 10-second delay here, so give me a chance to wait on your questions. I'll take a couple questions here for just a little bit. And while you do that, I'm going to take a drink of water. Any questions? Because that is everything. I actually didn't think I'd get through it all before this, but any questions? What is happening with the Maverick losing all electric? I haven't heard that. In a sense of it's like totally shutting down, like not working at all? I'm not sure. I hadn't heard anything about that. And we do get to see a lot of Mavericks in the dealership here. We have a lot that are being delivered to Salina, Kansas. Oh, Stephen, I actually have looked at your order. I look at your order along with mine. So my Expedition, folks, is still sitting in Kentucky. So it's sitting there. It says a chip hold. Now it's saying it could be August before mine comes in. Steven here, who has been a viewer of the channel almost every week, his is also on a chip hold. So I look at both of our orders at the same time, and I looked at yours today as well, and it is still sitting. It's still saying it has updated, but it still has it's waiting on a chip hold. So in fact, what was the actual? Because a lot of times when you're waiting on a chip, they'll still give you an ETA on it. Actually, I still have it up right here on my screen. It is actually saying ETA in July 19th and 25th. And I think they just give those dates way out there because they want to make sure they achieve those dates. And so just like with mine is in August, which is like 2 or 3 months, or 3 months away, right? And so I just think that's just, they put those dates way out there because they know they can achieve that. And that's usually what happens. So hopefully it's not that long. Hopefully we get it shipped out soon. But, you know, with those dates the way they are, I really think there's sometimes about a month, you know, out there, like maybe a month too far from what they should be. So hopefully we'll see that real soon here. But anyway, yep, we're waiting on. There's, what they say, 53,000 vehicles that are waiting on chips to be delivered. And a lot of them are with the Bronco F-150 Expedition. Those plants are waiting on them. So I think it's the vehicles that take more of the chips, like those vehicles that have more equipment, Expedition, F-150, Super Duty, and those. I think those are the ones waiting. I haven't really seen as much an issue for quite a while now, since almost March on the Maverick. But anyway, all right, it's time for our subject. So how do you get your 22 order pushed to 23? Now, why would you? And some people might, because, you know, they're thinking there's going to be some new colors coming out. So if I'm going to get mine scheduled now and it's going to get produced in August, I wouldn't mind taking one more month if I can get like an eruption green or one of those new colors. So, you know, is this going to be available? I don't know. We don't really know what colors will be available for the 23 model year. We don't know what package will be available. We know that the first edition won't be available for 23. That's for sure. But you know, I can see that there probably will be some like sort of appearance package for 23, but who knows, because F-150 is struggling to get those appearance packages delivered to them. So you just never know. So I don't know. But so we don't really know what's coming, but a lot of people are thinking, hey, there's going to be something new. There's going to be some new colors that's not available now. Maybe I don't like any colors right now. And so, I mean, they'll probably usually almost every vehicle has about 3 new colors and 2 or 3 deleted colors. So I do know that's going to happen. We know we're going to see some new colors. Usually we can look at see what's out in some of the other models, because some models get that color before another. So eruption green could really come to the Maverick. Hot pepper red we know came out on the Maverick and the Bronco Sport, and then it came out in the Bronco for 22, because they did not have hot pepper red on theirs for 21. So we know that. Just like with the Bronco in 21 to 22, it didn't lose a couple colors, but gained some colors. Eruption green was one of the colors, and hot pepper red was another color. So we know we got some new colors. We don't know what else is coming, but that might want you to delay your order. Again, Mike, thank you for the donation there. I'll pass that on to Sarah. How about that? Sound good? So I'll pass that on to her. So how would you want to take your 22? Because I've actually had a couple customers that we've made some changes on their order to try to get theirs pushed to 23. Now, here's some things you can do. Normally what you do is maybe take that priority code and take it from that, between that 10 and 19 to make it a priority 99. And that's an unbuildable order. That means I definitely want it pushed out. We have some actual Bronco orders, somebody that ordered a 21, and they wanted something that wasn't available yet. So they actually had theirs a 99, because we knew that. And when it got flipped and the order was duplicated, it was duplicated as a 99. She kept it there because something that she wanted wasn't available yet in 22 that Ford said would be available at some point, which was a painted hardtop. She wants a painted hardtop, so she's actually kind of waiting for 23 to see if she gets the painted, if they come out with a painted hardtop for 23. And so hers is a priority 99. I tried doing that. You're not able to do that on the Maverick orders that are in there right now. They're all in there. You're not able to move it, you know, in anything other than between 10 and 19 for your reach out orders. But what you can do is you can add some options. We talk about this every week, right? We have this constraint list on us, right? And we know for a fact, I have some June orders, and the only reason some of these orders haven't been scheduled are because of some of these constraints that are on these vehicles. So you could easily add some constraint items that onto your order, and probably be easier, maybe better off ordering and putting a couple different constraint items on your order. So we have somebody that has one on order, and he went ahead and added one of the tonneau covers. I think it was a soft folding, and he also added the splash guards to his order. So adding 2 constraint items can really push his order back and possibly not get scheduled because it has more constraint items on there. We know for a fact that a lot of orders are being passed over because they have constraint items, right? So add some constraint items. But I will tell you this, don't add anything that you're not willing to have on your order if it does get scheduled, right? Because if it schedules with those, then it's going to be built with those items. So keep that in mind too. Colors can be changed real easily. And some options can be added and taken off. In fact, while I was on quarantine, I actually found some resources on ordering information, and they said that when a vehicle gets scheduled, there are some things that you can change and update on your order after it gets scheduled. Color is one, and some options, packages, and some other things cannot be. So you probably, if it does get scheduled, you could take those items off if you want to, but that is a kind of a trick that you can do. We've done it on a couple orders. We've actually wanted to delay that. They want a 23 because they want a different color, and there's something else that they want, and we don't really know too whether or not those people that have an EcoBoost order, when they get pushed to 23, if the order does get pushed to 23, whether or not they'll be able to switch that over to a hybrid, which they should be able to. But what I'll probably do is, if that does happen, it'll probably then they'll probably change that date from the original date. So I'll talk here in just a second about what's probably going to happen in transition, just based on what we know from the Bronco, on what can happen when those orders that can't get built and can't get scheduled for 22, what's going to happen to those when they get pushed to 23. We'll talk about that in a second, but that's some things to think about. Add some different constraint items. So what are some of the items that you might think about putting on yours that'll definitely hurt it? The lowest number ones, the bed tray liner, the bed extender, those are all under 3%. Your tonneau covers, your hard tri-fold, and your hard roll-up are at 2 and 3%. Your bed mat is 2%. The protective fender film is 2% as well. And then also 4% is your splash guards. So those are the lowest numbers. So if you want to do something, add those different items onto your order. Add a couple of them. If you're wanting splash guards, or you wouldn't mind having splash guards. Now, splash guards is something you can take off. Actually, here's the key. You could add, some of these things are dealer installed options, right? So, I think I'm struggling with my stream here. Give me a second. All right, you guys all with me here? First time I've ever seen that come up while I'm at the dealership here, so hopefully it goes away. So you guys all with me here? Give me a thumbs up if you're good and the stream's not having any issues for you there, because it looks like it's good, but I've gotten flagged over here to looks like it went way down there for a little bit. Are you guys with me? All right, just making sure. So yeah, you can add a couple of these items. So here's some dealer installed items that your vehicle will come from the factory. The tonneau covers will come from the factory put on, but like of course, bed mat will already be in the vehicle too. But like the protective film will be taken care of at the factory. Your bed extender, of course, is something that can take in and out real easily. But the splash guards is something that the dealer would install when it comes in. So that kind of thing. So the DIOs, though, those are usually things that the dealer would install. So, okay, we're good. So, okay, thanks. Thumbs up. We're good. Okay, good. I think it's just staying on there just so I have it in there. But good to know that. So, all right. Thanks, guys. So those are some things you might think about. Now, what will the process look like when you get from 23? We don't know for sure. Ford has not disclosed to us what it's going to be, but we know from the experience that we had on the Bronco, and for years we've actually had stock orders that get pushed from one model year to the next. And what they did on the Bronco, for people that had 21s and they did not get theirs built, is they duplicated the order. So in our WebDo system, we have all the orders in there. So any order that's going to get pushed to 23, what they do is they pick a date, usually about a week before order banks open up. And this, I can usually go through all my Bronco orders, and I can tell if it's an order from the original 21 order, or if I can tell it's a new 22 order based on that date. So usually, and that one was about a week before the order banks opened up, they duplicated all the orders that were in there as a 22 as a, sorry, back then it was a 21 to 22, but on the Maverick, they will take that 22 order, they will duplicate all the 22 orders that are left unscheduled as a 23. So I'll have the same, it'll have basically be the same build as a 23. So what we'll have to do is get with all of our customers that have an order that was pushed from 22 to 23, and we'll have to look at the order banks and make sure the order is good. Hey, are you still wanting to go with this color? Are you still wanting to go with this package, this equipment, and then we'll put all that information in, reconfirm the order, and then change that from a priority 99 back down to 10. And then the date will be 1 week prior to the order bank opening up. So we know that's August 15th. So probably a week before that, somewhere around August 7th, is when they'll duplicate all the orders as a 23. So that's what'll happen, and then we'll have to just confirm that with everybody. So that's really how that all work. And so then some things will need to change. Now, what we don't know yet is price protection on those orders, whether or not they're going to be price protected. I would assume so. On the Bronco, they were price protected when they did that. What they did, there were a couple things where they actually said that this option was no longer included in this package. And so what they did was, if you wanted it, you would then add it to your vehicle. But if you did, then they would basically give you that cost of that. So what they did is they made one trim the same price, but then since it didn't include on like the Wild Track, they actually took the hard top was standard on the Wild Track. They took the hardtop off as being standard, and it was now standard cloth top for the 4-door. But if you wanted the hardtop, then they credited you $600 if you wanted it. So that was something that they did for the vehicle. So they will try to price protect it. So more than likely, if they get pushed to 23, they will price protect the 22s if you order it the same way. If you try to flip motors, that will probably kick yours from being price protected, would be my assumption. So that may be something to keep in mind. So there's some people that are on an EcoBoost because they missed the window on the hybrid that they ordered an EcoBoost, and they're hoping it gets pushed to 23 so they can switch it over to hybrid. More than likely, if you switch it over to hybrid, it's going to do one of two things, or maybe both. One, you might lose the price protection, and two, what it'll probably do too is change that date to August 15th. So if listen, like I just mentioned earlier, if all the orders that were original 22s are pushed to 23 and duplicated as 23, they'll date them that day, which will probably be a week before the order banks open up. Then what'll happen is if they want to switch that over to a hybrid, they'll let them do it, but then their date probably will then get kicked. So they will no longer have an older 22 order, but they'll have basically be like ordering a new 23. So not sure on that exactly. So I don't want you guys to say this is the way it's going to happen. This is what Tim said. This is just some theories I have out there, some things that we learned from current vehicles. And we don't know if you can flip the engines, if that'll affect your receipt date, or if it'll affect your price protect. We don't know yet until we get more information from Ford. We'll probably see that around the 1st of August. I've had a lot of people say, hey, when are the prices going to stay the same? They're asking me a lot of things about 23. Folks, we don't know anything until the order guides are out. Until the order guides and the price lists are out, we know nothing. And I did find out from the brand manager that we will have order guides prior to the order banks opening up. More than likely, it'll only be like a week before at the very most. And I'll be putting out those videos of how these are equipped, just so you guys know, but just keep that included. But that's kind of how that's going to all work. So hopefully this topic works. Hopefully it was something that was you guys kind of learned, and we can discuss, and we'll learn more about it as we go further. And hopefully it was fun. But throw out your questions. If you have any questions for me, if I don't know yet, we'll let you know. We'll kind of go over that. But see, Dominic had a question here. If your order is pushed to 23, will you be price protected in 22 price? I just talked about that. That comment actually triggered that thought. So Claire said, I know it's in the future, but can you please let us know when they flip the week before to 23? Yeah. we'll know all that. We should know that information prior to that happening. So I'm kind of looking at the 1st of August, probably not getting any information when it comes to 23 until at least August 1st. That's I mean, Ford's usually pretty quick at something. Like if they give us, hey, the order banks are shutting at the end of this week, they usually give us no more than a week notice on anything, it seems like. So my assumption would be probably around the 1st of August is we're going to start getting some information on 23 is my impression there. And of course, we'll share it right here. And it always usually happens on a Monday or Tuesday, which is great because the live stream's on Tuesday and we can get that information out to you real quickly. I know there's a lot of times Tuesday morning that Ford will do their media blitz, and it's always on a Tuesday morning. So that gives me a great way to be able to just bring it onto the live stream that night. And of course, too, a lot of times, scheduling information and all that kind of stuff happens on Monday, Tuesday as well. So that way I can get it to you as almost as soon as it happens, really, on a lot of these cases. So, but a lot of that will happen that way. Or I'll do a special video, definitely. So if you're subscribed, you will definitely get notified because I'll be putting all kinds of content on that. All right. Yeah, Vicky, I might have missed your comment, so if you can just put that @McArthur in front of it, and I'll get to your question. All right, so my wife ordered a plug-in hybrid Escape. It keeps getting pushed back. Any news on Escape plug-in constraints production? Her order is D69E. Oh, that's one of our orders. Well, let's look. We have the constraint list. I might have to put my glasses on for this. On the Maverick, I almost know that stuff by heart, so it was real easy to see. Escape. I don't have, it's not showing any constraints on Escape plugin or Escape at all on there, so I don't really know. I don't know if there's anything on there, unless you have like the Copilot 360 Assist Plus or Copilot 360 Assist Plus package. On a lot of vehicles, that's been a constraint. Other than that, I can't think of anything else, and they're not really showing us anything else here. Might have to blow my nose. All right. DB said, do you think people who are currently in Priority 2 will get a 2022? Not necessarily. I think really what happens is when an order gets in Priority 2, it means that order was included in allocations given to a dealership at one point, and that order may have been passed over because even though it earned an allocation, if there was a constraint for it, it wouldn't have gotten scheduled that week that it was earned that allocation. And I think that's when it gets a Priority 2, it's because those orders earned the allocations that you've received for your dealer, but they may have to go forward to get an order that can actually work. So I'm not going to guarantee that the Priority 2s will get necessarily but scheduled, especially if you're a Priority 2 and you have a constraint item and you have a luxury package. I'm not going to guarantee anything at this point. So I know a lot of people like to put me down or like to get me to set something and or to say something that I can follow through on. And I really, to be honest, I can't. But I will tell you, if you're a Priority 2, we do know that yours is approved through ROVP, and your order is going to be looked at. But with those constraint items on there, if you have any, even if you're Priority 2, I wouldn't guarantee anything, to be honest. So when in August is the Maverick event? August 13th is when that event's going to be. So that's going to be the Friday before the order banks open up. So it'll be fun. That day we'll probably do some people that want to come, that want to order with us. We'll probably, order banks ought to be out by then, so we should know how we can order vehicles, so we can go ahead and we're probably going to have, a booth or several people set up to where we can go ahead and say, hey, what do you want to order if you want to order with us? And that day we'll have some fun, and we'll have customers be able to come in and set their order for us, so we can be ready to punch that order first thing Monday morning. So that's probably what we'll do there. So Super Dave said, didn't Ford say they were going to remove constraint items, at least for the F-150, if they weren't removed already sometime earlier this month? No. I mean, we know what the constraint items are, and they recommend you take things off, but they're not going to take them off without our permission and without your permission. The dealer could do it without your permission, I guess, if that depends on the dealer, the kind of dealer they are. But if they're like us, we would reach out to you before we make any changes. So what will happen is that order will just stay in there and not get built, not get scheduled with those constraint items in there. So, because in fact, we have somebody right now on an F-150 that wants that the XLT black appearance package. And so we know it's a constraint item, but he's left it on his order because we know just by where his order is sitting that it could be about another month yet anyway. So we're kind of waiting to see if that becomes a constraint item next month. So, all right. All right. Patrick said, how do in production vehicles end up in dealer on dealer websites? Does Ford add them or the dealer? In production vehicles, if they were a stock order as a stock vehicle, they will show up on dealer websites. If they were ordered as a retail order, they will not show up on a dealer website unless they change that over on their order. So I've actually had this happen where some dealers were ordering customer vehicles as stock vehicles instead of retail orders. That's how they would end up on the website when they were maybe ordered for somebody else. All right, is that Deke? Said, any guesstimate on how many 22 Mavericks will be pushed to 23? I don't know. They actually said that they could make every 22 if it had the right constraint, if they didn't have constraint items on their orders. That's what they originally said. They said that's why they cut it off when they did. But because there's so many people that are wanting those luxury packages, it could be a good number of people that are going to get pushed to 23. All right. Let's see. Sarah said, I asked my dealer to take my hard trifold cover off, but he said it's in priority 2 and it will not let him. How can I get the cover off? Okay, they can do that. I actually went over this a couple weeks ago. It was actually the topic, I think, of the session or of the stream. And I can actually get you some of the images for you. If you want to email me, just say priority 2 change in your subject and email that to the timothybarts@gmail, and I'll get that right over to you, Sarah. But they can make those changes. They have to flip it to a 10, take it off, they save it, and then they got to call their zone manager and have it move it back to a 2. So it can be done. Well, I've done a bunch of them. So, all right. Yeah, make sure you tag at McArthur before that there. So, all right. So let's see here. Eddie there is in there, so he's got his on order with us. His Bronco Sport should be getting built soon, I think. Cool, you got my response, my email. We've been emailing back and forth. All right, Paul said, can you share any constraints there are on the Super Duty? Yep. So on the Super Duty, there's several that are 0%. Those for stock vehicles. Okay, for a customer vehicle, there aren't any that low. I do know that they did mention, even though they're not listed on here, that if you have the fifth wheel prep package or if you have the optional spray and bend liner, you want to take those off of your order. I know those are not listed as a constraint here, but they were telling us to take those completely off orders. Otherwise, the power twin panel moonroof is a 22 to 28%. So about 1 of every 4 that have that on there will get scheduled. The platform running boards, which are usually what you see on the XL, 18 to 24%. The 6.2 liter is 20 to 30%, whereas the 6.7 liter diesel engine is 60 to 70%. So if you have a diesel, not really a constraint there. And then also depends on your build. If you have like a cabin chassis, there's some issues with the electric locker on the cabin chassis. And then also the Lariat with the quad beam LED headlights, fog lights, and tail lights. That's option 59Q. Maybe included in the ultimate package, I'm not sure. That is 25 to 35% available. So anyway, those are the constraint items on the Super Duty. All right. Where was I? Tim, could you check my order? D39, and that's probably S actually. And Vicky, can you tell me, is that a Maverick order? I think it's a Maverick order. Yep, D39S. There it is. It is scheduled to be built on June 7th. So, oh wait. Yeah, is that... let's see here. Is that right? That's right. No, that's a different order. So that must be... yeah, let me know, Vicky, what model that's on, because that does affect that. All right, give me a second. I need to blow my nose, folks. Just give me a second. All right, yeah, Vicky, let me know what model that's on, because I need to look that up. And looks like on the Maverick, we do have a D39S, but it's not your order. Doesn't look like, unless that's not your name. Anyway, all right, let's see here. What other ones do we have? The Maverick event is going to be on your birthday. There you go. You got to come then, Alan. You got to come. All right. Pedro said, ordered my 22 Bronco with Party 19, not scheduled. Will your dealership take pre-orders for the 23 Broncos? There's not really a pre-order necessarily. They're not doing reservations on the Bronco. And really, they're not going to probably do reservations except for on the electric vehicles right now. In fact, right now, they're actually not doing them on the Lightning at all right now either, but they'll just do regular orders just like anything else. So we're getting lists of customers that want to order with us, so when we get order guides, we can get information. We can start jotting down how you want vehicles ordered, so then that way we can go ahead and punch those orders on the first day. But that's kind of how we're doing it right now. So I'm making a list. I know a lot of other people, sales guys that have been working with people they've been talking to that want to put a 23 order in. They're doing it that way. So we'll just be taking names so we can punch those orders as soon as we can. So technically there isn't. So some people are wanting, I know some dealerships are saying, yeah, we're getting a list of people and we're going to take those orders in order that way. Well, here's the bad thing about that is, let's say you have a reservation list for your dealership, right? And I have somebody that's in the first spot, somebody that's in the second, third, fourth, fifth, right? Well, if that first person isn't ready at 8 a.m. on Monday, that we can do the orders, are we supposed to wait until he's done to put our first order in for him? Because Ford's not waiting. Ford's going to take all these other orders by timestamp long before his order, and then that puts all of our other customers waiting, right? If we're not going to do it that way. It's going to be, hey, when you give us that order, we're going to submit the order. We need the paperwork. We'll do it the same day as well and get it all taken care of. So we're going to submit the orders as people contact us and take care of it. That's why we're going to try to contact people ahead of time so we can just punch a bunch of orders right away that first morning and then send the paperwork to the customer so that we can get that all in, because it's getting that punched in, that order date is the most important, and getting it in there. So so we're not taking reservation lists or pre-orders in a sense, because we don't really know how they're going to be ordered. I mean, we can go off a building price for 22 right now, but then we have that order, and then we punch that order for you, and then you go, well, I want the green now instead, or hey, I didn't know that this package was going to be available. I want it instead. Well, let's just wait then until we actually know what is and what is not going to be available. So that's really the easiest thing to do. So kind of saves time for both us and you. All right, so let's see what's next. Crazy World said, when the Ranger book opens up, do you know if the Ranger Raptor will be open? Not this year, not that I believe. The 23 is not going to be a new model design. It's not going to be the next gen Ranger for the United States. I think a lot of people still feel like it is. What is coming out in 23 for Europe is not the same version that we see in 23 in the US. The US version is a year ahead of the United States. So 2024 is when we'll see the next gen Ranger along with the Ranger Raptor. Okay, let's see. Is there anything I need to do on my end to make sure my order gets through? Yeah, I mean, I assume when you mean a Bronco order. By the way, I do want to welcome a new member to the group. So Chris, thank you, and John as well. New members to the Long Mat crew. Welcome. But yeah, I mean, on the way of getting again, just like I kind of mentioned, probably I'm assuming I answered your question okay with that. But that's kind of how that's going to work. Is we're just going to take those orders and punch them in, and you'll know because we'll submit those for approval, just like we did our other 500 that are all getting scheduled and not having any issues with. All right, Phil said, hey, Tim, I have a first edition order on Maverick Hybrid. Can you tell me what happened with the Bronco first editions that were oversold? Yeah, there was, I think, some first editions. What happened there was they messed up. And now on the Bronco, unlike on the Maverick, the first edition was a limited run. So they only did so many first editions on the Bronco. They said they were only going to do 3,500. And then what happened is they didn't think about 2-door and 4-door. So it was a mix and it wasn't going to be the same. So then they end up opening it back up for 3,500 2-doors and 3,500 4-doors. So Ford kind of messed it up. So they weren't able to fulfill all of the first editions for that. But that's different than what the first edition is for the Maverick. First edition for the Maverick is a package. So they should be able to build all the first editions that are in the order, and they should get those scheduled. From what I understand, on the Bronco, the people that didn't get the first editions that got theirs and they weren't able to build them, they were the first ones that supposedly that were in line for the Raptor. And I think that's how that worked. All right, Vicky. All right, Tim, please check my order. Yeah, Vicky, did I get if you get me your model, and I know I'm behind on the chat here, but we'll get caught up here. Tim along with the Ford are putting on a Maverick event at the dealership, Patricia. I plan to pick mine up. Yep. So hopefully that all works in time. Hopefully it does. Yours doesn't get delayed. That wouldn't be good. All right. Tony said, will all 22 model year Maverick orders be scheduled before 23 order banks open? They will not. They won't. They weren't on the Bronco either. So they will not. So, yeah. All right. So Vicky, you had said Lariat. And what model was it? Did I miss that? I'll have to look it up, Vicky. Email me, Vicky. Okay, you said it's D39S, by the way, not D39.5. And if it's on the Maverick, oh, yours actually might. Okay, there's one other thing I thought about. D39S. Let's look. Okay, so we do have a D39S, and it's under a different name than Vicky Dell. So if Vicky, if that is your name, then it must be maybe that order number can be used on all different models and such. I've used it on all my. All right, right now I have two TO1Bs, which is the order number I use for myself. And so that could be the case in different models. So for his, he probably has used that number. So if you let me know if it's on a Maverick for sure, then I can look it up. But you can always email me as well. And after this, I'll let you know. But if your name is, if it's Vicky Dell, then I don't have a Maverick order for you under that order number. It is a Maverick. Okay, so then this must be yours then. All right. By the way, Vicky, is it in there as Victor? If so, then you are, because our D39S is scheduled for a build date of June 7th. That's what it's looking like in here. Yours was Lariat Luxury, Copilot 360, and Iconic Silver. I think that's that one. So, all right. Baumgartner ordered our Bronco with you guys, 21. Any updates? No, I'm afraid not. But we're going to have some scheduling this week. Let's just look here. See how if we can get lucky here and see what's being previewed. We have 4 being previewed. We're supposed to have 7 allocations still. And I don't have yours in there as one of the ones being previewed. Of course, tomorrow it could look a lot different as well. Yeah, yours is one of the ones that's being previewed right now, but we have 7 allocations and only showing 4 that are previewing, so we'll just see what it looks like tomorrow. Tomorrow it could change and everything, but So we really, yes, we need to get your schedule. So you've been very patient. So we've a Bronco customer from Oklahoma that has been very patient with me. And I feel so bad. I wish I could do it myself. So William said, can you check L57S? I think that's on a Maverick. Oop, passed it by. Let's see. There it is. It is unscheduled at this point. So, and then we know it's probably going to be another week, probably 2 weeks before we have scheduling for June. So before, I don't know what week that they're going to schedule, but we know at least into June. So probably at least June 7th or 9th, probably. It's probably the earliest that they'll start scheduling for the month of June. But, all right. All right. And just for those that don't know, I can only look up orders for people that have orders with us. Could I order a Maverick at McArthur from California? Yes, you can. We've had several California customers. We can do that. I think I skipped over a question up here. I think Patrick had one. Will Ford balance out the Ranger before 23 order banks open, or will we have to wait until the balance out date to convert? Yeah, so they'll close it out. I mean, we'll have scheduling ahead of time before they close out. So they'll schedule it and they'll say, okay, the rest of these orders are going to get pushed to 23. And then they'll push those orders over, and then we'll have to go through, just like I described earlier, if you're on earlier. So, all right, John said, I've had a Rapid Red Lariat with luxury package, first edition, ordered since the 17th of September last year. From a dealership in Massachusetts. Why is it taking so long? You might just double check you don't have any other constraint items on your order. Like if you have any, like the mud flaps are a constraint item that you could have on there. Just make sure you don't have too many. We had somebody that had a first edition. We had two that hadn't scheduled, and one was from early June, and it just wasn't scheduled. He had about 7 dealer installed options on there. We started drilling down, taking a couple dealer installed options off there, and then it got scheduled eventually. So you might just make sure you don't have any other constraint items than what's already included in that package. Those aren't going to be needed. But, you know, like we talked about earlier, if you have a bed mat, protective fender film, take those off. If you have the bed extender or splash guards, take those items off of yours. That can really help it. So again, if it has those constraint items on there, even as a first edition, it can cause it to not get scheduled. So hopefully that helps out. All right. Did I miss any other questions? I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm 86501 in line for Lightning. Guess what? Guess when I get it. Not sure how you know you're in 86,000. Just because of your number on your order doesn't really mean as much as it does on where you're at in line at your dealership. So just keep that in mind. All right. Anything else? Did I miss anybody else's? All right. All right. Okay. Oh, hold on. I missed one. Tim was a Maverick. Tim, my Maverick order L42S was pushed back a week from 6/6 to 6/13. Any idea why? Probably just because of constraint item. Probably something on your order that when they scheduled it, like probably the luxury package or something that, you know, they always, as they get parts and they know a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead, they may not have everything to build yours, so they have to push it back a week. And so they probably took somebody else's order that was back on the 13th and pulled it into the 6th, the week of the 6th, because they had items that they could schedule and be able to build that vehicle. So that's probably why. What are the current constraints percentage on Copilot 360? I believe it's still the same. 32%? Yeah, 32%. So, all right, what are the current? And then Patrick said, great info you provide. Can you pass info to your regional rep? The XL Maverick needs cruise control as standard equipment by popular. Yes, I'm yet to do that video. I'm going to do that. I do a video on the Maverick on different things that they should think about changing and making different. on it, so I haven't done that video yet, but I'll do that real soon. And I'll definitely, when I do that video, I'll pass it on into the brand manager. Yeah, our brand managers getting it. They're the ones kind of in charge of that brand. So I think it's more important to get it to them than the Ford rep. I don't think those always get down to the product people. So Don said, Tim, any updates on the Ford Lightning? I'm on your list. Looking forward to it. Not yet. Yeah, they said that 23 invites will go out this summer. But for Ford, I mean, summer really doesn't start till the end of June. Like June, was it June 21st, 23rd? Somewhere in there. I always get those dates mixed up. But to them, that's when the first day of summer starts. And when they give a season like that, it's usually going to probably be July, is my assumption, before they start sending out invites. So probably going to be a good month before we get any other updates on the 23 invites. So yeah, not much update on the Lightning right now. We're still waiting for our demo unit to come in. And then we'll, get that in. We'll be doing some videos and different things like that, but, not much update on the Lightning right now. We know they're producing and they're shipping out vehicles, that kind of thing. But other than that, not much updates on those that did not get a 22 order invite. But those waiting to get a 23 we're still waiting to see how that works. I will say this. We had a couple people that transferred in. So they got an invite to do a 22 at their local dealer. Their dealer was marking their vehicles up. So instead of submitting their order with the dealer, they transferred over to us. And Ford told us, everybody that I could talk to at Ford said, well, that order will come over, or the reservation will come over, but it doesn't give you another allocation. So if they put their order in, it'll probably get pushed to 23. I said, well, let's take our chances. So we had two people that did that. One of them did schedule for a build date in August. So we do know that those people, that if you got an invite with another dealer and you transferred that reservation over to a new dealer and then submit your order, that takes that allocation over to that new dealer, which is what my assumption was all along. Nobody could confirm that. We went ahead and took our chances on it with these two customers, and they went and submitted their order. So I said, worst case scenario, it's going to get pushed as a first 23, like all these other orders would. But in his case, he did get a scheduled build date, and we're waiting on the other one to get scheduled. In fact, while we're in here, let me look. I'm just curious on that one there. 511A. Nope, it's still unscheduled. And actually it looks like it's going to get pushed to 23 because they did actually change it. It was actually priority 1, and now they changed it to 11. So that's kind of weird that they changed it back like that. Weird. It doesn't have anything on their constraint, but anyway. So that's all I have on the Lightning. Not a lot of information going on right now. So Jackson said, Tim, what causes an order that is scheduled to be pushed to a later date on the F-150 Power Boost? It could just be what's on your order. So sometimes there might be something that's on your order that's maybe even a constraint item here that yours gets scheduled because it's one of the few that they scheduled with that item, but that could cause an order to get moved back again. So if that's what you're talking about an order that's been scheduled getting pushed to a later date, it's just because when they went to go maybe schedule yours out and send it to the plant, they saw that they don't have the parts to build yours. So instead of it sitting there and bogging up the line, instead they're going to push it back a week later, and then go ahead and bring a vehicle in there that they do have all the parts for. So it's probably just that all the parts aren't available for your particular vehicle. So what's the process for transferring a Lightning reservation to you, and where in your list would a reservation be? Transfer reservation be? Depends on your now the timeline and where you'd be on our list is based on your time stamp. So when you did your reservation, that's where you'd sit on our list. Now to transfer it over, you just call Ford's 800 number. So it's 1-800-334 4375. So that's the number you want to call. That's Ford's customer support. If you go to any of the Lightning pages and go to the bottom, there is a Q&A, and it's listed in there as well. All right. Alrighty. Wes said, what's the process? Okay, yeah. And then Monica said, I have to get going. Oh, thanks for everything. Sure. And then Ron, I think I missed yours. You said you skipped me. So I might have missed it. I might have went right over it. So put your question in there again real quick, because I think I'm caught up now. But tag at Law McArthur so I can see it there. So definitely hope you're doing well there. Yeah, go ahead and tag at Law McArthur and I'll get your question there. Came into the stream late, correct if incorrect, but I understood Maverick order bank will open up August 15th. Correct. All right, and Blanca said, will you notify us if scheduling gets moved back? Also been, you should get an email if it gets moved back. We won't notify you because Ford doesn't notify us when orders get moved around. And for us, it'd be just like when we did. I emailed people manually on the Mavericks because I'll get a list of everybody that gets scheduled each Thursday. Well, it's easier for me to take and know that I need to email those people and email those people that they get scheduled. But if an order gets moved, I'd have to go in every single one of the orders that are scheduled for build dates right now. And on the Maverick, it's too many for me to be able to do. You should get an email from Ford, though, that says that your order got moved back. Or if you go to your order tracker, it'll tell you that as well. But like right now, we have... you know, we have 97 orders that are scheduled for build weeks or build days right now. So it would just be difficult for me. I'd have to go into each one of those orders every single day, and I'm not able to do that. So yeah, you should get an email letting you know if you got moved back. So, but if you can always email me. I can't remember what your order number is off the top of my head. But yeah, I can look up your order if you want to email me and see if it's been moved back or not. All right. Ordered from my dealer a 22 F-150 King Ranch 601A chrome package, tow package, 360 active 2.0. You might want to add the removal of the park assist on that one. A twin panel moonroof, interior work surface, FX4 36 gallon tank. If any constraints, percentage on the listing. So on an F-150. With the Copilot 360 Active 2.0, you need to add that Active Park Assist 2.0 removal to your order. So that's something you want to make sure your dealership does. Right now, they're not being built with it, so yours won't get scheduled unless you add that option to your order. So, all right, Christopher said, hi, I have been waiting for my Maverick Lariat edition since December. If it doesn't get produced before 23 models, how can I change my order with your dealer? So your dealer can make changes to your order. All right, Jenny said, "How much do you need to put yeah. So if I missed any, because I kind of skip along because I get to talking about one thing and then I don't really have time to read all the messages. So if you didn't put @Law McArthur, then it's harder for me to see it. But I can try to go up and try to find your comment. I think I missed a couple on through here. But if you do the tag @Law McArthur, then it makes it nice and bright orange on my screen. So I'm able to see it. So it's a lot easier for me to make sure I get your comment. So, hey, Tim. So like Daniel had one up here, said, hey, Tim, you may have covered this. I am wanting to change the color of my Maverick order and had a sunroof option. Would either of those change the effective order date and move my place in line? No, neither one will. Color changes are easy to do. The moonroof as well, you can take that option off without any issues either. So, yeah. Any other questions that I might have missed? So my Maverick priority code is 10 and order code is M166. Ordered XLT red EcoBoost with trifold cover. Any idea when my Maverick may ship? Will be this year if I've ordered on January 25th. Thanks. Depends on, let's see, you ordered I'd take that bed cover off. That'd be the first thing I would do. But you are likely to get it if you're an EcoBoost XLT, if you don't have the luxury package and you don't have the Copilot 360, and if you took that bed cover off, would help your order. So I would, that's the first thing I would do. You can always add a bed cover later, so. All right, any other questions that I might have missed? It has been raining all day here. I can hear it right by my desk. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I got a drain pipe up here from the roof, and so like it's constantly coming down right now. It's been raining all day long here. All right. I got my first edition Maverick hybrid build week, a week of June 20th. Good. All right. We got, there's going to be a lot that are supposed to be built in June. We'll have to just wait and see how Ford does with those and see if any of those get pushed to July. But all right, is there a problem building first editions? Many are getting delayed. Clean builds, no constraints. Well, just because it has everything on it. So, if it's to be a first edition, it has to have the luxury package, which also gives you the Copilot 360, which are both constraint items normally, along with being the first edition. You have that bed cover as well that are put on all those. So those are things that's why those are getting pushed probably a little bit. So. Because what they did is they scheduled a bunch of the first editions that they could, and because of that, because of those getting scheduled, they wanted to get them scheduled, but they're not probably able to build them where they scheduled them, so they're probably going to get moved a little bit. So that's probably why. Not really that surprising, to be honest. All right, is there a problem building? Okay, yeah. And then Jolly said, a Maverick, I need winter package so I can cancel Lux package. Yeah, so there's several things that I'm hoping that we see for that to really help out, because there's some things as part of that luxury package that includes so many features that let's cut that package down a little bit and do something a little differently. They did that with the Bronco Sport. They made, they had a package that included a moonroof along with these other options. So they took the moonroof out of that package. Be nice to see them do something similar to that with the Maverick, with making I think you should call it like a bed utility package, something like that gives you the bed rails, spray and liner, and the outlet in the bed and the bed light, right? Put the bed light. I mean, actually, what's funny is Ford has a package like that on the F-150 called the bed utility package. And it does include the LED bed lighting. It includes I think a drop-in liner, and or maybe a spray-in liner, and then it also includes something else. I mean, so they're doing that with the F-150. So why not do that on that? So take those bed options off, make it a bed utility package instead for people to add on to their vehicles. That would be the smart thing to do. And then instead of calling an XLT luxury package, let's call it like a comfort package, right? That includes those interior features. I mean, because I'd be more one that'd be apt to get in that interior feature, which probably isn't holding things up as much as the bed utility package features. So that's what I think they should do in a way of that luxury package. And then I think all your Copilot 360, that should be standard on every vehicle. And you just got to find a way to get those parts, because you're getting them for the Bronco Sport. I don't understand why you can't for the Maverick. So that just doesn't make sense to me. All right, Kimberly said, hi, my Maverick should be arriving any time now. Can I order some F1 Law McArthur license brackets? We'll probably put them on my vehicle. You just give me, Kimberly, if you email me to either the one of the email addresses, and I can just send you one for free. So just let me know. That's free advertising for me. So yeah, I'll send you if you want a tag bracket, we can do that for you. Just email me your mailing address and we'll get that sent to you. So especially since you're a member, not a problem at all. So, all right, Ridge Fuse. All right, any other questions? 8:20, so doing good on time. Anybody else? All right. Well, if you don't have any other questions, I'll wait for a few minutes here because I know it's on about a 10-second delay for the stream here before you guys actually get those comments. But if you have any other questions, I'll answer those. Otherwise, I think that's all I have to cover. Can't think of anything else. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining me on the live stream tonight. I really appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys that come on to the stream and listen to me ramble on about my thoughts and everything. And so I appreciate that. And hopefully I answered all your questions. If I didn't answer your question or you're watching this recorded, don't forget, check out that Ford video guy at gmail.com, and I can answer those questions for you. That's a lot easier than if you call me. So I have some people that are calling me and I'm way behind on phone calls because I know that if I get on the phone with you, I'll probably be on the phone for 30 minutes talking Maverick. I just enjoy talking about it. I really think it's a great product, and so I'll be on there for a while if you give me a call. But if you just send me that email with the question, then I can answer those questions a little bit quicker, and I can email a lot more questions that way, or I can answer a lot more questions that way as well. All right, a couple last question here from Al. He said, "Please let me know if I will receive my 22 Maverick XLT EcoBoost Red without any adders. Ordered on January 25th." It's really hard to tell. It's hard for me to try to guess on some of that stuff, just for the fact that I really don't know what your dealership orders look like. I can look at our orders and kind of get a good guess, but even we don't know what allocations we're going to have for the month of June or the month of July. So it's hard for me to be able to say from somebody that ordered in January whether or not they're going to get their orders. So it's just, I don't, especially when it's that late, that might get pushed. But if you have no add-ons, again, Ford says as long as it doesn't have any constraint items, they can build it for 22. So if that's true and they don't have any issues or hiccups, then technically it should get scheduled and produced. More than likely to be like a September build, getting it in October or November. So that'd be my guess there. So. All right, and then I think 4 high, 4 low. Okay, by the way, the reason it didn't flag earlier probably was because you misspelled McArthur. Not a big deal, but I was able to see it here. It says, I ordered my Bronco Badlands Sasquatch December of 21. The only communication that I've received from Ford was my order confirmation. Should I have received a status update by now? Not necessarily. You have a Badlands with a Sasquatch, especially if it has a hardtop and it's a 4-door, we still have people that ordered, in March of 21 that still have not gotten there. Someone that was on the stream earlier tonight that had a reservation in 2020, in fact, and put their order in. I think the deadline was in March 17th of 21 that still does not have theirs. We still have about 20 people from original order holders from over a year and almost a year and a half now, back in January of 2021, that still do not have their Broncos scheduled yet, let alone built. So not necessarily, just depends what other items you have on there. If you just had a Badlands Sasquatch with 2-door or a 4-door cloth top, and you didn't add the Lux package on there, or you didn't add the tow package, then maybe you should have. But otherwise, I'm not surprised that you're not scheduled yet. So anyway, did I answer everybody's questions? Hopefully I did. Again, thank you very much for watching. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. If you want to be a member, feel free to do that as well. I really appreciate it. I love getting to know the members a little bit closer that way. And again, don't forget, we'll be on Facebook Live this Thursday night. If you're a Facebooker, if you want to show that link is in the description, as well as the links to the different articles I talked about tonight are down there too. And don't forget to mark your calendars for August 13th. We'll be doing a Maverick event here. So hope to see as many of you as possible at the event. And we'll be talking more about it in the future. But again, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you guys later. Bye.